Ciao guys and welcome back, it's your friend Luca, and in today's video we will have a look at the Panasonic Lumix 50mm F1.8, a pretty small and lightweight 50mm for the L-mount camera system. Before I start to talk about the lens, let me tell you that this is a totally independent video review and I bought this lens in the used market with my own money. I bought this lens for around 300 euros and the lens is in excellent shape. I'm saying this because I compared the image quality produced by this lens with other 5 different 50mm f1.8 from Lumix that are spread around Europe. And the reason why I did this, it's pretty simple. This lens has a sort of character, it has some chromatic aberrations that they never really go away. So that's why I was a little bit confused by the performances of this lens, because it feels like it has a sort of vintage rendering in a modern housing. Talking about the image quality produced by this lens, I'm not really in love with the results I'm getting from this lens. Mostly because this lens is not really matching well with other Lumix S lenses that I own. For example, it doesn't match at all with the 2260 and it doesn't match at all with the 24-105 f4. And if you are wondering if the image quality produced by this lens is going to be the same through the whole line of f1.8 primes of Lumix lenses, I have no clue because I never tested those lenses. But if some of you have multiple f1.8 primes from the Lumix S lineup and you are seeing the same rendering of the images through the whole lineup, please let us know in the comment area below so everyone can have a clear idea about the performances of these lenses. This lens is not really sharp wide open at f1.8 and it will never get really sharp even if you stop down the lens to f5.6 or f8. The images have always a strong amount of chromatic aberrations, specifically with the blue color. And I'm actually seeing the same problem when I print my pictures. I like to print my pictures big, and with this lens I'm not really seeing the sharpness that I like from a prime lens. For example, if I put side by side this 50mm f1.8 stop down to f5.6 next to the kit lens 2260 at 50mm at f5.6, you're gonna see that the kit lens is going to produce much sharper images. I don't know why it's happening, but for landscape photography, if you really love to take landscape photos, I would say just stick with the kit lens, you're gonna have much better results. If you like to take portraits, this lens is okay, if you can live with the sort of blue tint produced by the chromatic aberrations that are pretty strong in this lens. Talking about the build quality of the lens feels pretty good. It is made out of plastic and it weighs around 320 grams, more or less. It has weather sealing and it has a nice rubber ring for the focus pull. And talking about controls, it has only autofocus and manual focus switch. The quality of the bokeh in this lens is actually very good, probably one of the best you can find in a budget-friendly lens, and the bokeh balls are always nice and rounded, except in the corners where there is like natural vignetting happening in the lens, and you don't see any type of onion rings unless you zoom really close in your images. All in all, I would say that this is an okay lens if you're gonna get it for free when you buy your Lumix S5 or S1 during some type of offers. But if you plan to buy it with the full price of 470 euros, that's up to you, it depends on what you are doing. If you plan to use it for video work, this lens is going to be fine if you own the Lumix S1 and S5, because those cameras don't have the optical low pass filter. But maybe if you have the S1H, you're gonna be a little bit disappointed by the unsharp images you're gonna get. If you're going to post photos on Instagram and social medias, this lens is also going to be fine. But if you plan to print your pictures quite big, maybe you have to consider something else. Maybe you want to consider the Lumix S Pro 50mm f1.4 that has a superb image quality, but is also a little bit heavier and expensive, so it's up to you to decide what's more convenient. In a couple of weeks or next month I will publish a follow-up about this lens where I'm gonna share some tips and tricks talking about autofocus performances with the Lumix S cameras, because the previous videos I've posted about autofocus tips and tricks were based on a bit slower lens like the 24-105 f4 or the kit lens 2260 f3.5 to 5.6, and I would say those rules are working sort of okayish with a fast f1.8 lens, but there are some things that you have to change to get the best out of it. So stay tuned for that video, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao guys! In today's video we're gonna talk about the Lumix 50mm f1.8. You cannot do this type of tricks with Sony cameras. Oh cazzo, I wasn't in focus. Damn it!